Now, the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation is hosting the third G20 Research and Innovation Working Group and Ministerial meeting. SABC News reporter Liabo Setho has more on that story. Liabo, good morning to you.
Are you listening out for instructions?
Okay.
We're coming to you from the CSIR International Convention Center out here in Pretoria. And we're here because there's been a series of G20 meetings that have been taking place. Among them, of course, different tracks and different shepherds. And today we're tracking the Department of Research, Innovation and Science and Technology as well. And we're going to be speaking to Dr. Mlungisi Cele, who is just Dr. Mlungisi Cele, who has just joined me, I beg your pardon, sir, who's going to tell us about what is going to be taking place today. And they're working towards tomorrow. Tomorrow, where they're going to be signing the Tshwane Declaration. That will be a declaration that will be jointly with ministers as well. But let me not waste Dr. Cele's time. And thank you so much, sir, for joining us. We really, really appreciate your time. We've been having so many of these meetings taking place with regards to the G20, as we know that we are assuming the presidency of the G20 from a science and technology point of view. Take us through how important this is for the country.
Thank you very much, my sister, and good morning to your SABC listeners. Of course, it's important for us, as we all understand, that South Africa is hosting the G20 this year. In respect of science, technology and innovation, we are hosting a Research and Innovation Ministerial Working Group, as we have said, which is meeting tomorrow. But we have had a series of events since Saturday and also today, leading up to the meeting tomorrow. Today, as officials, we are finalizing our discussions around the draft outcome statement, which will be presented by our minister to his counterparts tomorrow. But we have also had a meeting on Saturday, in fact, a workshop where youngsters, from various schools around the province converged to discuss about science and women and girls. Because again, part of our focus as our, focus of our G20 is around capacity building, is around gender, is around diversity, inclusion and equality.
Let's take it perhaps looking at the pillars that this G20 track is taking and break it down perhaps for the viewers and take a wider look into how this benefits, the viewers when you look at things like climate change, science and innovation and everything that comes with, research and innovation.
No, thank you. I mean, of course, let's appreciate that our mantra as the department is to place science, technology and innovation at the center of government, education, society and the economy. That's important for us. We're also working towards utilizing science, technology and innovation to address societal challenges, including climate change, health security, environmental degradation, food security, education and a number of challenges. So we are, all our discussions are meant to contribute towards sustainable development. So for instance, we are focusing on open innovation for sustainable development. We are also talking about biodiversity for sustainable development. As I indicated earlier on, we are trying to mobilize the global community towards making sure that we ramp up efforts, transformative efforts, to realize diversity, inclusion and access, to make sure that we have the type of human capacities that are able to respond to the pressing challenges in the country. So we've got different things that we have lined up, which we would like to make sure that by the end of this G20, at least as a form of legacy for our system, we retain things like creating a global platform of platforms, where we can create a mechanism by which or through which all countries can share their knowledge, infrastructure, information about infrastructure, about technology, about investments, about how to develop human resources.
Yeah. I'm very curious about the Chief Scientists Roundtable and how that works together with what, politically and at a higher level, looking at the road to November, how that all works together. I find, quite fascinating that there's that kind of roundtable, and perhaps you could take the time to explain to us, who these people who will be sitting around the roundtable are.
Cool. Firstly, we are also promoting evidence-based policy making and decision making. We would like to encourage policymakers to rely less on gut feel and use evidence to make decisions. So science is important in that regard because we want science that serves. Right, so that's why we have convened advisors, chief scientific advisors from the G20 and other non-G20 countries, including some of the colleagues from the rest of the continent and the developing countries. These are the people who are advising prime ministers, the presidents, and ministers in various countries. I'm sure India, for instance, will have an advisor to their prime minister who are gathered here. They already met, by the way. So they had a round table yesterday. They agreed on the outcome statement for the first time, by the way. We are very pleased that we're able to nudge them towards finding common grounds, and they agreed. So that statement is going to be released. We're very pleased about that. So they also had a discussion because, again, we wanted them to exchange views, to exchange knowledge about, firstly, how they view the world, but secondly, how can they play a role in a brokerage role, creating an interface between the academic or the research world and the policy making. That's their role, their strategic role, the brokerage. So their job is to advise us as officials about what is it that we need to do and what are the key strategic priorities that we have to pursue. Yeah. Of course, they have to rely on evidence, but also take into consideration contextual factors and then give us concrete, actionable recommendations.
Recommendations, I assume, that will also obviously, encompass the whole of the continent because, as our viewers may know, that this G20 here is not just for South Africa, but for the African continent. This is as I prepare to let you go in just a few seconds, sir.
Well, obviously, South Africa can never develop without the region as well as the continent. So our science, technology and innovation system is closely intertwined with SADC, science, technology and innovation, and the rest of the continent. And that's why we have invited our colleagues, because a substantial portion, by the way, of postgraduate students from the rest of the African continent are studying here in South Africa. And of course, we are seeing an increasing number of academic researchers who are studying here. We also want Africa to be relieved, to be free from donor dependence, so that they can be able to make and determine their own research agenda without being constrained by the agenda that is set by the foreign countries through donor funding. So that's part of the reason why we have invited them here, so that collectively, as the African, yes, absolutely.
Dr. Cele, thank you so much for speaking to us. I'll be seeing you inside and looking forward to engaging with you a little further. I've been speaking to Dr. Mlungisi Cele. He's a Director General at the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. As I said earlier on, we are here at the CSIR. This all working together to tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day for this track. And with that, I'm going to rush inside to hear what other people are saying and what the plans are for today. But we will be coming to you from throughout the day to give you the information and speaking to different role players here in Pretoria. It's back to you in studio, Leanne.
All right, Liabo Setho, thank you for that update.